Hello, Jack Setson here. For my first topic vlog, I decided to talk about the subject of sexual orientation because it's one of those things that seems to come up often as far as I'm personally concerned. Since most of my social interaction comes from the LGBT community, I am just surrounded by some of the most mind-blowingly ignorant myths. So I'd like to get some of those off of my chest. I currently identify as a bisexual trans man. When I first came out, I identified as a gay trans man. My sexual orientation shifted a few years into it for reasons I'm now fully aware of, but don't feel like talking about right now. One could consider me pansexual if you wanted. I don't like pansexual politics that much, though, so I'll stick with bisexual for now. Over the past several years, I've had the opportunity to view a nice variety of ways people misinterpret transsexuality on a very personal level. I don't really want to talk for other people, but as far as one formerly gay-identified, bisexual, possibly pansexual trans man, I can say the following things in response to the mind-blowingly ignorant things people have said to me, mostly cis-sexual gay men. So this first set of gay guys are the ones who make it very obvious that they do not understand that trans men are men. These are the guys who learn that I'm sexually attracted to men and then go out of their way to explain to me why they aren't going to fuck me. It usually goes something like this. So you're not a lesbian then? You're transgender? Yes, I am transgender, and actually I only date men. Oh, so you're a bi? No, I don't date women at all. Really? Wow, I could never date a trans man who, didn't have a penis because I'm gay. I mean, I'm sorry, that's just how it goes. Do you see the big problem with this? I mean, where in that entire conversation did I ever ask his opinion about my attractiveness? Do you really think that you're that hot that everybody who discloses anything personal to you is secretly trying to win your sex? Because I can tell you that you are just not that hot. I'm sorry, I mean, that's just how it goes. The more important problem with this is that a lot of them still seem to think that they're trans allies, even though they say stupid stuff like that all the time. When you say that you won't fuck me because you're gay, you're misgendering me by proxy, and by extension, you're mislabeling every gay guy that I have ever dated. Regardless of your own phallocentrism, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing for you, there are gay-identified men, both cis and trans, who are open to relationships with trans men. This is not about you, it's about all of us. Keep in mind, finally, that when you say things like this to me, it is no less obnoxious than when a straight guy learns you're gay and makes a big deal of explaining that he's totally cool with it as long as you don't hit on him. The second set of gay guys is a little bit less annoying, but it's still really sketchy. These are the gay guys who learn that they're attracted to one particular trans man after a long life of thinking that they could never be attracted to somebody like me. And then they wind up going through this massive identity crisis over it because they don't understand that nothing about being attracted to a trans man that makes them less gay. So they have to dwell on it a while, wondering how they could be so worked up over someone who doesn't even have a dick. Eventually, a lot of them will realize that it's because they know that we're men. Sometimes they'll come to this conclusion and they'll tell me about it as if this conclusion that they've magically come to validates my manhood for me. The thing is, I already know who I am. I don't need your fucking cookies. That actually used to be a deal breaker for me. I won't say it is anymore, but I still can't see going with somebody who had that sort of crisis. It's just a personal thing for me. It's the same reason why there are FTMs who won't date lesbians, even though there are plenty of lesbians who will date FTMs. It's just one of those things where you wonder what they really think about you and what they really think you are when they do that. But that's another one that could probably be talked about on a different time, I guess. Finally, and I guess this should have gone first, but I'm really not known for chronological order. When you're referring to the sexual orientations of trans people, you do not go by our birth sex. When I still identified as gay, there was a big problem with people calling me a 0 every time the Kinsey scale came up. People would call me straight all the time, and these are the same people who I'd tried so hard to educate, and They'd use the right name and the right pronouns and all that sort of thing and everything. I don't understand why it was so incredibly difficult for them to use the right sexual orientation. Trans men are men. You need to treat us like men and use words that you would use for men. You can't just pick and choose based on who you personally want to fuck. I don't care who you want to fuck. My identity has nothing to do with what other people think about me sexually. I probably don't want to fuck you either. That doesn't make you straight. Why would it make me? Anyway, I'm running a little bit longer than I intended to looking now, so I'll let you guys go. Remember, new therapy session video should come on Wednesday, and probably more special topics in the meantime. See you then. Happy trails.